150. I guess we'll start. Okay.
So, you might want to see.
Oh, yes. Joy. So let's see, we have, yeah, so we have the, okay, so the permanent members, Celia Waters, Robert Wisney, and myself, Cindy Gibbons, and Joy, right? I forgot how to pronounce it. Pronoun. Okay, and Joy is sitting as an alternate for
Sean.
Sean.
Flynn.
Okay. Okay, again, I apologize. Okay, so if you would introduce yourself, and
My name is Robert Blight. My wife and I own property at 49 Merton Road here in Woodbridge. The application we have before you this evening is for a variance. Property is 6 acres, and when we bought it 30 years ago, the thought was that, well, someday if the kids need some land to build on, that we have extra land here. The complication, though, that arose was that in 2001, when the square on the lot requirement for a lot went into effect, in many towns, the square on the lot is, it's common to have it as a zoning requirement, and here it's 150-foot square. In many towns, however, it has to fit anywhere on the lot. In Woodbridge, the way it works is that it has to be outside the setback line. So effectively, if you're trying to get the square in the front of the property, you have 75 feet, then 150, then 25 in the back. So there's 250 feet basically by 150 plus 25 on each side, which then bumps it to 150 plus 50, 200. So therefore, when we were laying out the various alternatives on the lot, the problem that arose was that the square on the lot was such that because of the northerly bound of the property, which came in at an angle from Johnson Road, it pushed the square on the lot further over than we had hoped, and it encroached upon an old barn that we have on the property plus the pump house for our well. So therefore, when we thought about what the alternatives would be, a variance to to vary the amount of the square, which we thought would be an unreasonable precedent to set. So alternatively, and as I mentioned, the supplemental materials that I gave you, TP&Z not too long ago granted a condition of a subdivision approval whereby an accessory building could be maintained on the property that was subdivided up to a certain period of time until a principal use was established on the property. So here the issue is there would be accessory use on the property, accessory building on the property before the home is built. So that's where the zoning issue arises on which we're looking for a variance. The plan at this point, my kids have the house plan done, it's been perked, QVHD has the septic plan, they've all been designed, the house is ready to go, as far as builder's been selected, but we can't split the lot because this is a first split, so we don't need to go to TP&Z on it. But we can't, Chris can't sign a map that allows a split because of the accessory building that's on the property now. So what we're looking to do is vary the regulation to allow for a limited period of time the accessory building to be there before the house is built, essentially. Could be time limited. We suggested a year. My kids would start building yesterday if I could let them start building. So in a nutshell, that's it. In the supplemental material that I gave you, I mentioned also the fact that the barn is a 2-story barn. There's about 2,200 square feet in the barn itself. It's been there over 100 years. In town, there's something about the character of the town where having these kind of structures sort of adds to the just the beauty and the history of the town, basically. So be happy to answer any questions, but that's basically what we're looking for and what the situation is.
So you wouldn't be looking
to tear the barn down after the home is built, or are you?
No, my kids want the barn.
Yeah, I don't blame them. It's beautiful.
Well, it needs painting. I'm sure, even though I love to get rid of the maintenance, I'm sure I'll end up still taking care of it, but anyway. And, you know, and the whole purpose of this is, so we could help with grandchildren, that kind of stuff. You know, their kids are gonna start school soon, so.
So what is the purpose of the barn now? What do you use the barn for?
It's pretty much just storage. The other building, though, is the pump house. There's a well underneath it. We actually, we're giving them the well, and we actually have to drill a new well for our house.
So is that the well that would feed the water, like
Yeah, that would be
running
the,
water to the home?
to their home, it would be,
Okay.
yes, yeah. Mhm. And it's, you know, the house, it's, you know, 106-year-old house, so there's a lot of quirky things about it. So the current well is in like a sub-basement underneath the building, and, you know, the pump and the holding tank and everything else is in that room under the basement. We just redirect it to their house afterwards.
So if I understand what you're saying correctly, the house you're gonna build for your children, it would be completely compliant,
Oh, yes, yeah,
and then the barn would be the accessory building for their house?
yes.
And
We
then,
would- we
then
would prefer-
if it had been reversed, okay, that the house you're gonna build for them is built, and then they wanted to build this barn, just, that would be compliant?
Yeah, oh yeah, the setbacks, as the lot's designed, there's a 15-foot accessory building setback.
Yeah, well,
It's 16 feet, it's 16 feet from the property line, so we designed the lot, so the lot is compliant, it's just the barn's there before the house.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, we would have loved to keep the house instead, keep the barn instead, but, it's not the way the lot laid out. And as I also mentioned, we tried to buy 4,000 square feet from our neighbors out of their 322,000 square feet, but they didn't want to sell it. That would have made us straighten the property line out, and we wouldn't even have to be here, so.
Right, so
We've tried different things to make this
No,
work.
no, I just wanted to be sure, so just the sequencing is the issue,
Yes.
because after the house for the kids is built, then the barn would be completely compliant as an accessory building on their property,
Yes.
okay.
and you tried to situate it where the barn would have been on your property, but it didn't work
There's
because
just not enough
of
width
the-
at that part
right.
of the lot, so.
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
So, that's pretty much all. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but, like I said, we've kind of looked at every possible angle to try to make this work, and we haven't been able to find anything, so.
And Chris needs this in order to sign off on the first split.
Something where it's not zoning compliant.
Correct. Right. And it's the first split, as you mentioned when I
It's the first
called you.
split. The only thing I have to do is look at it and make
Yep.
sure that it's zoning compliant, and with the accessory structures on there, without a main residence, it's not zoning compliant. So
Yep.
if you grant a variance, then I can sign off, they can build their house,
And
grandkids will be close by.
and the variance
down the
goes
pike,
away.
Will
all
they
of-
shovel snow, is that part of the deal?
I have no expectations.
And what if,
How about mowing the lawn?
Maybe that, yeah.
so, say this, the split is done, you sign off on it, they have to build the house, correct?
Right. And you've said, I think, that this would be for like a
Yeah,
year.
well, like a year limitation, if for some reason something disastrous happens and they don't build, then we'd either have to take the barn down or reverse the split.
And we
I'm not
can-
looking for a permanent non-compliance here, I just want, a period of time where it gives them time to build the house.
But we could put a timeline to this, I guess
Yeah,
my,
he's offering a year, and so
and
you
we
can-
put that, and
you
we
can
put
use
that in
that.
the
Well,
approval.
my concern is what happens if it's not complete in a year? What happens?
How about just start?
Well,
The house is, once the house permit is, and it's in place, then that accessory use is then
When you
going.
say in place, though, does that mean
I
just?
mean, starting the construction,
Just
is
the
it?
foundation, yeah.
Yeah, when the foundation and the permits have been issued for the construction of the
Gotcha.
house, then we have a primary use that's,
Okay, so that won't take a year.
no,
So a year is a
it should be 3
reasonable
months.
amount of time.
No,
Yeah.
because you certainly
Because
don't want to be.
construction won't complete in a year.
it should.
It's not a big house.
Okay.
They can't,
They-
We don't
But-
know what's gonna happen.
Well, as long
Yeah,
as
who
they,
knows?
yeah.
I
As
mean,
long as they're
Materials
starting.
are,
But as long as it's started and the
yeah,
permits are
'cause,
issued,
yeah.
then,
Then
okay.
Because you don't want to
becomes-
be in a situation where you got a problem
Right.
with the barn, it's not compliant, that type of.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as Bob said, the
Yeah.
way the the barn is situated on the
Yeah.
proposed lot, it would be compliant, so,
Okay.
you know, it's
Good, all
fine.
right,
Okay.
all right.
Okay, were there any neighbors who were in favor? Any neighbors opposed?
They're all notified.
Oh, yeah, all neighbors
No,
are
that's
notified,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay, so we'll close this part. You're
Thank you.
certainly welcome to stay while we argue, because, you know, this will go on for hours.
I know, I've been in that situation. I will be later this month, so. All right, thank you very much.
Oh, you can hang
Don't
out.
think we're gonna argue.
Well, we can deliberate for a minute.
Okay.
Oh, argue, okay. Let's argue about that. Okay, anyone,
I'll move a motion to approve
Okay,
the
so-
application.
I second.
Cindy is, okay. Oh, okay, no, that's fine, that's all right. So we have a second. All right, so we're gonna vote on the
The
appeal
variance.
that-
Yep.
for this accessory building to stay while you're building a house, which will make the accessory building legal.
And according to, not to exceed 1 year before construction
Before construction initiates.
initiates, right?
Okay, so, all in favor? Okay, it looks like it was a long discussion, but you somehow persevered and made it through. Congratulations.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck with it, and for your children too, good luck.
Wow, what a
All right,
crazy
so I
thing.
think we have some
Would you, did you want
minutes, I
these
think there's
back?
some minutes.
Would you like these drawings?
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome to have it.
Rather recycle them appropriately.
Yeah, let me, oh, here. Yours.
Take the whole thing?
You can build a house out of this.
Or the fireplace. All right, thank you again.
We'll see you, bye-bye.
Put the hay on top.
Okay, so, that was interesting. Again, I apologize for being so late.
Okay.
Oh, I gave him my
We
minutes.
didn't want to do it without you.
Yeah,
Look,
thanks.
it's a good,
Huh?
it's a reasonable request, I think it's,
Well, again, if all it is a question of timing,
Yes.
it just seems kind of silly to make them tear the thing down and then build it again, because now it's compliant.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing the right thing in terms of granting an appeal, but logic would say, sure, sounds good. Which is, Cindy convinced me, because I was dead set against it.
Yeah.
I think we have some,
Okay, do we have any minutes?
yeah.
We had
Yeah.
1 set of minutes.
February 14th.
It was
I
fun.
couldn't remember that. Yes?
Yeah, that was with that garage construction.
My husband's not pleased with me because we met on Valentine's Day and then tonight's his birthday, so.
You'll go home early.
Oh my god.
Well, tell him we rushed through. So,
Just for him.
You
Yeah,
should check and see if anniversary is covered, you know. Coming up.
Yeah, right.
It's the
That'd be my
trifecta.
luck.
okay, so, minutes, yes, no,
So, move to approve?
okay,
I'll second
okay. All in favor? Okay, another unanimous vote. Okay, so the next important thing is to adjourn, I know, let's do it.
So moved.
Wow.
All those in favor?